And I got one quick one, if it's okay.
It's all right with you?
Hopefully you guys like it, but quickly.
No, here's a better way. You may or you may not like this. It's up to you. Because I'm keeping on keeping on. And you may or may not like this, but I'm keeping on keeping on. But your response to this is up to you. Because I'm no longer catering to you, because you're fickle. You might like it and you might not.
Thank you. But so my question is, in terms of the media and like movies, music, I look at this world now, and every year I'm like, what are these guys listening to? The music, and everyone's so there's so much censorship. It feels so contrived to me. I used to love going to the movies. I don't like going to the movies that much anymore. And I know there is no spoon, and it's a reflection of me. It's just hard for me to see that. And everything's got to be like, it just feels so fake. And everything's so political. I can't see a movie now. It has to have some politics in it, or even a football game or whatever. And it's like, I just like rock and roll. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to save the whales, and I love animals, but I'm not trying to save everything. I'm not it's cool that people think that way, but sometimes I feel like it's just too much. It's too much, and they have everyone living in fear now too, more than ever. You know what I mean?
Now we've had this conversation. We have something really valuable to say to you. You're going to like this. It's going to be really helpful, not just to you, but to many. We don't disagree with anything that you just said. There's lots going on. There's really a lot going on. We know that if the things that were going on were more in the way that you would like them to be, that you would probably feel better. So it makes you want to send out an email announcement to the entire world that says, I like rock and roll. And most of the other stuff that you're doing is not that pleasing to me. And it's important to me that I be pleased. So this is what I need from you, mankind, humanity, global consciousness, everybody in the world. I need you to shape up. I need you to stop being crazy. I need you to stop doing all those things that I just pointed out are just nuts. I need you to stop doing all of that. And when you do that, I'll feel so much better. And of course that's absurd, because you don't even have all their email addresses yet.
But they just have so many rules. That's really what I'm trying to say. And they're trying to implement the rules on everybody else. And that's kind of where I'm coming from. Not so much that their music sucks. That's cool.
But you see, you're doing the same thing right now to all of them. You're doing the same thing. You're saying, I have a perspective which I honor the most and is different from yours. So you have the option of sending out your picture to everyone and saying, see this face? When you see me, these are the things I need from you. This is my list of what I need to see in a movie, and this is my list. And of course, we're being deliberately absurd. Of course, that's ridiculous. Or you can get right to where you think if that could happen and the satisfaction that you would feel from it, you can get there by remembering these things. You deliberately came into this time-space reality of diversity because you understood that all the stuff that they're all doing, that when they create something that you personally do not like, that simultaneously you create something that you do like. Because the problem and the solution are created at the same time. The question and the answer are created at the same time. So you, creative genius, came into an environment where they are like they are, and they are producing so much desire within you because of the ridiculous nature of their diversity, that you have created a vortexual reality that will serve generations to come, and most of all, please you right here, right now. You just have to line up with what they caused you to create, not with how they are, which caused you to create it. You gotta not go back to the future. You gotta just go to the future. And if they weren't like they are, you wouldn't have the desire that you have. And if you didn't have the desire that you have, we wouldn't be having this conversation. What you're saying to us is, they caused me to create stuff that I can't get to because they created stuff that I don't like. They created a new reality for me But I'm so busy looking at them and all their diversity and wrongness that I'm not letting myself go to what happened inside of me.
You know what it is, though, Abraham?
Yeah, we just told you what it is.
No, I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%. But here's the thing: I just feel that, and you're right. And this is probably a flawed statement, but I just feel that that they're so locked in and they're so.
So right, because that's not inaccurate. They're locked into their beliefs. That's what this whole conversation is about. They're lost. They're locked.
I don't feel though. I don't feel like it's diverse. I feel like it's one way. You know what I mean? That's just how I feel. You know, I don't feel that it's. I feel like it's one. It's like I feel like it's like one homogenized frequency.
Well, here's why. In your perfect world, and we're not being. I
wouldn't take them out in my perfect world either. You know what I mean?
In the perfect world that they have helped you create, give us the essential components of it.
I just want there to be more room for the laundry to get clean. I feel like it's like too much. It's like too packed in. You know, it's.
But you see, you're the only one that's got the door closed, and you're blaming them for closing the door.
You're right. No, you're right.
It's your perspective of how it all works. You went back to where you began instead of forward to what you really know, because they're helping you, not hindering you. But you know what you're doing? You want reality to be readier for you to observe it. And we want you to not need reality to be observable, to be so sensitive to the deliciousness of vibration moving forward. We want the vibration to be observable. Sometimes Esther feels that way when she watches a television program or a movie, because they are so predictable to her. She knows where they're going. Well, you know why? Because most of the world is polling the world before they create their product that they want the world to respond to. Well, that's not who you are, and that's not who Esther is. You're not wanting to regurgitate what is. You don't want to take a poll on where people are. You want to take a poll on what people really want. And so what's bothering you is that you know that people want to feel good, and yet so much is pointed toward them not. You know that people want to uplift, and yet most is pointed toward things that aren't uplifting. Your world right now, predominantly because of some things that you all want to talk about, which isn't a good idea, your world right now seems to be being controlled by fear.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at, yeah.
But it isn't. It isn't being controlled by fear unless you're afraid. And that's your choice. So if you practice your own autonomy, if you practice your love, then it doesn't matter how much a person is hell-bent, and we mean that in every sense of the word, on making you feel fear in order to motivate you. In other words, you don't want to be motivated by fear. You must be motivated by love. And when there's such a predominance of fear motivation, then they seem lost to you. Well, the world only seems lost to you when you feel lost. When you get your light shining over there on who you are and what you want, it doesn't matter. As your dream told you, it's just a matrix.
It doesn't matter, yeah.
It doesn't matter. So what does matter?
What does matter is focusing on more of, not in terms of the subject, not looking too much at what is. You know what I mean? Focusing more on what I want, what I like. You know, because there's a lot of stuff I like. You know, there's and I. You know what I mean?
But toward what end? If you accomplish that, what happens?
I feel better.
So what matters?
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
That is all that matters.
That's all that matters.
I know that.
That's all that matters.
Thank you so much. It's a dream come true, man. Honestly, it's like one of those things that happens. You call me up here, and it's not a big deal, but I know anything's possible.
You've been on your way here for a long time, and the universe is a better place now for you having been here. And the thought consciousness process that we are all about has evolved dramatically as a result of this leading edge conversation that we've just had. And every bit of it, every bit of what you've been living and where you are right now was necessary for this leading edge conversation, because you've been on the brink and you took us to a new place. You took us to a new place.
Thank you so much.
You didn't take us to the last brink. And you didn't take us to the last discovery. You took us to another brink, to another brink, to another brink, to another brink. That's what your life's going to keep doing to you, bringing you to another realization. What is a brink? A brink is the precipice. It's the next step is into the enlightenment of another realization of who I am. It's me consciously acknowledging the growth that is always taking place, but it just happened in a noticeable enough way that I am now reveling in the progress that I have just made. It's me doing for me right here and now what my inner being is doing about me all the time. It's me feeling like my inner being always feels about me. Can you feel how your inner being always feels about you? Appreciative of you, knowing that the universe expands because of you, reveling in everything that you do, never being unhappy about where you are, always knowing that where you are is the best place for you to be and others to benefit from where you are, never looking back with condemnation on where you have been or where you are, always reveling in the perfection of where you are, always receiving the benefit of where you are. Can you feel it? Volume doesn't really help, but can you feel it? Are you feeling it?
Yes. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
Really good. Really good.